Hello everyone and welcome to my closet. So I am working on a major update for my website, and while you are waiting and I am carefully testing everything, I thought we can have a little chat about what I learned from sewing an entire wardrobe for myself. So this here is full of clothes that I made myself, and I have actually reached the point where I can say I wear only things that I have sewn myself. There's one exception, but we come to that in a little bit. So I have made myself a little list, a little bit of a cheat code, if you say so. So let me tell you, or let me tell my younger self what I would have loved to know before I started out making my own clothes. So the first thing I have noted here is take your time. You see, this stuff does not get sewn in a week or two. While you can power through a little capsule wardrobe, and maybe that's your thing, you can totally do that, but to create a whole wardrobe, this just takes time. So I am sewing my clothes for, don't let me lie, 6-7 years, I think, and right now I'm really at the spot where I can say I have clothes for every occasion. Maybe I would need a new dress if I would be invited to a wedding or something, but this is nowhere in sight, so maybe I make one just to have a fancy dress in the closet, just for the case. And yeah, it will take your time, and also, second point, there will be failures. So one downside of sewing your own clothes is that you need to buy the fabric, you need to sew everything, spend the time and the money before you can try it on. And it is possible that after you have tried it on, you just don't like it. Or maybe the fit is wrong, or something is just not right and you don't wear it. These things do happen. They do happen to me, they happen to everyone. So you will get better with time to know before you make something what you will like, and you will get better to know the right fit. But these are things that will take time. So, and that is why I come to the next point, that is embrace your basics. You see here on the left, I have several cardigans, which are all pretty dark, mostly black. There's one blue one here. And I can wear these, I would consider these basics, I can wear these with most of my outfits. So they are very versatile. Same goes for t-shirts and of course for underwear. And they might seem boring, but they are rewarding because you get so much use of them, right? So you make a cardigan in your base color and you can throw it on so often, and you will reach for this so often that every time you can see at least one thing I am wearing is handmade. So I think that's very rewarding. And as I mentioned, I have a base color in my closet that is black. So my next tip would be make yourself a plan. So when I started out, I was just browsing through all the pretty fabrics, and I would think, oh, this fabric is so pretty, I need to make something with this, and bought the fabric and made a really nice garment, but then I have noticed I have nothing to go with it. So like I have made a blue skirt. I don't have any blue tops. So what should I wear with this, you know? So this is why I suggest starting out with basics and define a base color. So define a color palette, so you know everything will work with your base color, and this way you have always something to mix and match. So my base color is black, because darker colors are better for my complexion. I like the colors, and I pair them mostly with greens and reds. I also like dark blue, but because I don't like dark blue with black together, I have reserved this color for standalone pieces like summer dresses or PJs for it. So I don't need to combine these with anything. I am currently experimenting with having a different base color in summer, so I try to incorporate a nude color as my base, so this would work with the blues, the greens and the reds as well. And in summer it's maybe a bit better, a bit more versatile, and I'm experimenting with this. So, next thing on my list is be open to compromises. So when I started out, I wanted to make everything, absolutely everything I put on my body. And I also wanted it to be all natural fibers. I'm a huge fan of natural fibers. For different reasons. They feel better, they are breathable, they are better for the environment, you know that. And I just couldn't hold up to what I promised myself, because there's one thing I mentioned that I still buy, and these are socks. I know how to knit, but I'm a very slow knitter, and I would never be able to produce such a fine knitted sock as you can buy in the store. There are patterns to sew socks, and I have sewn socks, but I wasn't just very convinced by these patterns, you know. They were fine, but they were not great. And I'm sewing because for me it's the way to create the best clothing I can get. So I compromise with myself to still buy the socks. I buy something with a very high natural fiber content, and from time to time I just get new socks. This is absolutely fine. I have incorporated some items with non-natural fibers. So, you know, my raincoat. My raincoat, for example, this is made from, I don't know what synthetic fiber, but it's purely synthetic. Just because for the use of as a raincoat and to really keep me dry, I think the synthetic fibers here are superior. And I will wear it a very long time, so I am fine with that. And one thing I could not get rid of is spandex or elastane. So in my underwear or in everything with the jersey what I do, I really can't think of getting rid of the spandex. So it is a very small amount. Right now I cannot think of a method of getting rid of them, and this is my compromise. I go for as high as a natural fiber content as I can get, but I would need to completely change my clothing style if I wanted to go completely without spandex. So for the moment, I'm fine with incorporating a little bit of spandex in my clothing. So my dresses are usually, except when you have an elastic here, they're usually all natural fibers, but for especially the underpinnings, the leggings, the t-shirts, the bras and such, they have elastane in them. So this is fine for me right now. So next is a very important thing, and this is the lesson that costs are relative. Many people assume when you sew your own clothes, you just save so much money because sewing is obviously so cheap. And the short answer to this is no, it is not. You know, the fabrics can be pretty expensive, especially if you want some quality stuff. And of course you want some quality stuff because you don't want your hard work to unravel after 2 washes, right? So even if you don't take into account your work, which is worth money, then sewing is quite an expensive hobby, you see. You get, if it's really your hobby, you get double use of it, your hobby as hobby, and you get the clothes out of them. But it's not cheap. But on the other hand, what are you competing with? You will never create a t-shirt as cheap as Shein or Temu or these ultra fast fashion brands. It will just not happen. Yes, you can get creative with fabric sources, thrifting fabrics, for example, but overall, in my experience, it's just not going to happen. But you see, what I think is very important is the aspect of costs per wear. So this is a principle you might have heard of before. Let's say you buy a pair of jeans for 10 euro, which is a ridiculous price, but there are jeans out of there that cost even less. So let's say you get a jeans for 10 euros and you mainly buy it because it's cheap. You get home with the jeans and you wash it, and when the fabric is already off and the fit is off, and after a year you notice that you have worn these jeans just twice. So in this case, every wear of the jeans would have cost you 5 euros. 10 divided by 2. But let's say you buy a pair of jeans for 100 euros. But you love these jeans. The fit is right, the fabric holds up to the washing machine, and you wear it all the time. And when it finally comes apart, it has been 2 years, and you have worn these pieces above 200 times. Easy to reach with a pair of jeans. And then you can say every wear of this pair of jeans cost 50 cents compared to the 5 euros in our cheaper example. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. I have made myself a very lovely, dreamy red wool coat 2 years ago, and this stuff was not cheap. I paid about 300 euros for the materials, and it took me 3 days to assemble. But I will wear this thing to pieces, you know. As I said, I have worn this 2 years already, so every year is 150 euros. And the coat is pristine. It looks just as I have just made it yesterday. It's really, really holding great. And I can alter it if my body changes, and this is a great piece, and I get so much wear out of them. Outerwear is always very rewarding in this space, and I don't regret a thing. Yes, it was expensive, but it is an investment piece, you know. Also, I would never have found a coat like this, this long and this perfect match for my body in the free market. So even if I would have found a coat like this, I don't think I would be able to get it for 300 euros. Honestly, probably at a minimum double that. So I think it is actually a steal. So, and one last thing to wrap this all up, I would just encourage you to relax. No one will bash you for homemade clothes. The thing is, most people will simply don't notice. When I started out, I felt really intimidated by the thought of creating my own wardrobe, because I somehow thought everyone would point and laugh at me because, oh, she's sewing her own clothes, that's so cheap, and she can't do it even right. All the seams are wonky. But trust me, this did not happen in all the years I've been working on this. Actually, the opposite happens. I have been approached several times by complete strangers on the street who just felt the need to stop me and tell me that I love my coat, my dress, my top. This never happened to me with store-bought clothes. And even while I would have been able to point these people to all the things on my garment which was just not right, which was just not perfect. And they still thought it was amazing. So amazing that they needed to stop a complete stranger on the street to tell them that, which is amazing. And yeah, it's just, you know, if you're feeling unsure about this, go to a store from ultra fast fashion company and have a look at their clothes. They are terrible. Not only for the material, but for the sewing also. And this is not to bash the sewists in the sweatshops which did the clothes. They just don't have the time to make a decent job, right? So if you look at them, the seams are wonky, uneven, the threads are hanging loose, everything comes undone, the pockets are wonky, and it's a mess. So if you ever doubt the quality of your own work, just go to one of these stores and have a look at them, and you will see, if these are my competitors and these are the stuff that most people wear and know, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. You will see, even if you're a beginner, you can start out with some basics. And this way you have a little bit more time to practice and already wear, for example, a homemade tank top as an underlayer. And you're already starting to wear your clothes with no one even seeing them. Or PJs. PJs are great because they're only for your bedroom, right? And I would very much encourage you to try this out. If you feel intimidated, I was there too, and now I'm getting complimented on the streets, right? So, yeah, I would like to know if you have some additional tips on creating your own wardrobe. What have you learned over the years? And maybe let's have a little chat down there in the comments. And I hope I will see you soon with another sewing video. Bye bye!